What's up, Big Bear Nation? Welcome back to the homestead. So today has been a pretty nice day. It's a little chilly, but the sun has been out and no rain, no wind. So we were able to get some work done over the last 2 days. And one of the big things on the list, now that we got the woodshed done, was to work on our hay barn. Now, our hay barn over the years, we've gone from it being fully enclosed and there being a bunch of junk in it to we started to rip those parts down and give it kind of that skeleton structure so that we could put stalls in it if we needed to. And just last year, or maybe about a year and a half ago, we had started to turn this into a milking barn kind of situation. We started with the stanchion first, and then when our cows got here, I guess the beginning of April of 2022, we used this barn to be able to put them in so that we could put hands on them and kind of get them used to us. And at that point, we had actually put in a small low separator between the two of them so that each of them had their own space. Well, fast forward to November of last year, we had broken down that middle divider, or really they had broken it down between the two of them. And so we were alternating between one being in the corral and one being in the barn. And we kept Thelma in here when she was calving so that she had plenty of space. And at that point, we had extended it out so that it was the full length or the full width of the barn area so that she had plenty of room to move around, to keep the calf in there with her, and that worked great. We had to make do with some tarps for a windbreak, and it was really just a skeleton. And so we've been looking at all the different resources we have here on the farm, and one of the things that we noticed that we have still a plethora of since we've broken down all of our pig pens, we have all of those long pallets that we had. And so Jason's been going over to the pig pen and going to random places, picking up those pallets and bringing them over here to the hay barn. So now we're almost done with it. We've run out of pallets. We're waiting on a few more so that we can completely enclose it. But let me show you what we've got done so far. Now, if you remember a few videos back, we had talked about being able to get some wood chips. One thing we did, which was to put this back wall in right here, but also to open up this area behind me. There used to be enclosed right here. Now, when I flip you around, you'll see that this whole area used to be nothing but gates. We had extra gates that Jeremiah had given us to be able to use. And so we were using that just to kind of give a little bit more structure to just these, because literally what we had before was just these 4x4s. We had draped tarps like that one there. That's the only one that's left now. To be able to cover in the back side and to cover in the walls. Well, that was sufficient, except for the fact that at times Louise would get a little nosy and she would push her nose up underneath, or like when Bucky was in here, he would push through and rip holes. And so over time, the tarp situation was just not a good one. And over the last few months, when Louise has been in heat, we've actually had a couple of instances where one or two or all of the cows would come up here, and then she would start trying to push through these gates, and we can't have that. So to make it more structurally sound and a little bit easier on us, as far as making sure that she can't get out in the middle of the night or that anything can get in here to bother her, we have completely enclosed this area. And you'll see right here we have pallets along the bottom, and then we have this big tall pallet that we put across the back. And so that will stop her from dipping her nose up underneath and being nosy and trying to get out that way. But the plan long term is right here. See how we have these planks right here for now. We're actually going to get more of those long pallets and go up one more level, and then try to close that all in so that there's a permanent windbreak for her to get out of the elements. We don't get super cold around here, but we have had some days where it gets windy or snowy, rainy, and you just don't want all that drift coming into where she's sleeping and staying. So hopefully in a couple of weeks this will be completely done, but for right now it's looking pretty good. I'm excited to see what else Jason's gonna do with this. The plan obviously is to eventually have this completely closed in and have these gates set up so that we can swing them out, let her out. She goes straight into the milking stanchion. Now I will say one more thing. You know, a couple months ago we had the wood chips brought in here and we're using it for bedding. And I will tell you, of all of the solutions that we've come up with for bedding, this is probably my favorite. She has pooped in here, obviously. But the surface that the wood chips provide, they don't seep down into the ground too much. And so, you know, the very next day we can come in and scoop these out, get them out of the way. And over time with her like peeing in it, stepping on it, moving it around, we're able to come in with the pitchfork and actually dig kind of deep and flip it over, and that bottom layer is still dry, so we can kind of turn it, and it's almost like flipping compost, right? So we've got this deep bed in here. In the spring we will come in, scoop this all out, and use it in our vegetable beds. So kind of a dual purpose thing. I'm really enjoying having the wood chips. I even like them right in through here because we have had some rain and it's done such a great job of keeping everything dry. We haven't had any puddles, we haven't had any issues. So if you've thought about using wood chips in your barn setting for this kind of thing, I would definitely look into it. It has been a true blessing for us. So if you like this video, go check out this one over here, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for stopping by the Big Bear Homestead. God bless, and have a nice day.